All right, welcome back. We're diving right into part 2 of our explainer on essential shell commands. These are the tools that are really going to take you from feeling like a beginner to feeling totally confident at the command line. Yeah, we've all been there, right? You're just staring at that blinking cursor, and you know there are thousands of commands out there, but which one is the right one for this exact moment? It can feel like you're in this massive library, but you have no card catalog. But here's the awesome part. Linux doesn't just leave you stranded. It actually comes with its own incredibly detailed set of guidebooks built right into the system. You just have to know how to open them. And that brings us to what might be the single most important command for learning on your own, man. Seriously, think of it as your master key to the entire Linux universe. So what exactly are these man pages? Well, they're the official manuals. And get this, they're usually written by the very same people who created the tools. So you know you're getting information straight from the source. And the best part? They're all stored locally on your system, usually in the /usr/share/man directory, which means you don't even need an internet connection to use them. Let's see how it works. Say you're curious about a command like uname. You don't have to go scrambling for Google. Nope. You just type man uname right into your terminal, and bam, the full documentation instantly pops up. Okay, but what happens if you don't even know the exact command you need? Well, that's where the -k option is a lifesaver. If you just have a keyword in mind, like password, you can run man-k password. It'll search all the man pages and give you a list of anything related. It's like having a search index for your entire system's toolset. Now, as you start using that K option, you're going to notice something. These little numbers in parentheses next to the results. These are not random. They're actually incredibly important for telling you exactly what kind of thing you're looking at. This is a perfect example. You search for passw, and you see passw1 and passw5. I mean, they're the same name, but those numbers, 1 and 5, tell us they are two completely different things. And here's the key thing to wrap your head around. Section 1 is for your everyday user commands. You know, the things you actually type and run. But Section 5? That's for documentation on configuration file formats, like the /etc/password file itself. So one is a tool you use, and the other is a file you read about. So how do you tell man which one you want? Super easy. If you want to read about the password file format, you just specify the number. You type man5passwd. This takes you directly to the right page, and honestly, it is a game changer for avoiding confusion. All right, so now you know how to look stuff up. The next essential skill is figuring out, well, what system am I even on? Before you can start working on a system, you gotta know what it is. Think of the uname command as your system's ID card. Run it by itself, and it tells you the kernel name. Simple and direct. Okay, good to know. We're running Linux. But you're probably gonna need more detail than just the name, right? For that, add the R option. This gives you the exact kernel revision you're running. And trust me, this is so useful for troubleshooting or just checking if your software is compatible. And if you want the whole shebang, the full story, just use A for all. This gives you everything. The kernel name, the machine's host name, the kernel revision, the architecture. It's the complete system snapshot, all in one line. Okay, so you know what your system is. But what about what you've done on your system? Ever type out a super long, complicated command, hit enter, and then poof, it's just gone from your brain? Well, good news. You don't have to remember it because your shell does. We have all been there. You finally figure out that perfect combination of pipes and options, you run it, and then it's just gone. It's so frustrating, but there is a built-in solution for that. This is where the history command comes to the rescue. It's your personal command line diary. It shows you a numbered list of all the commands you've used, which gets stored in a little file called .bash history in your home directory. Now, this is great for remembering what you typed, but it's also important to understand how the shell sees those commands. And that often comes down to quoting. For example, typing echo $home with double quotes prints your home directory path because the shell expands that variable. But if you try echo $home with single quotes, it literally just prints $home as text. Understanding that one little difference is key to mastering the shell. So let's pull all this together and do a quick recap of the really powerful tools we've just uncovered. These commands, man, uname, and history, plus a good handle on quoting, they really form the foundation for being self-sufficient on the command line. The real theme here is empowerment. With man, you've got a built-in encyclopedia, so you can learn any command. With uname, you have the system's ID card, so you always know where you are. And with history, you have a perfect memory, so you can build on your past work. These aren't just utilities, they are your fundamental tools for exploration and efficiency.
I just love this quote because it puts it so perfectly. The shell is actively working for you, keeping a record just to make your life easier. That's a feature you really want to lean on every single day.
So we'll end with this thought. You now have the keys to the entire library and a map of your system. The only question left is, where do you want to go next? Thanks for tuning in.